Rather lads, welcome back to Cossy's Arsenal podcast. My name is Cossy. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in all parts of the world. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to brand new video. It's January, it's the January transfer window, and you know with the transfer window, I always do the most I can to update you. I can't do all stories, but I'll do those that I really feel are important and those that I feel that you guys really need to know about. We're going to be diving into everything Joao Felix in this video. Now, two sources, Fabrizio Romano and David Ornstein, have just confirmed that this deal is happening this week. It's quite very interesting because it's not only Arsenal that have the key to sign him, but Chelsea, Man United, Spurs, Liverpool, all these other clubs that are really interested can get the deal done. But it is happening, and it's happening this week. Can Arsenal get the deal done? We are in front of the queue. We are leading everyone else in signing him. The only problem is the numbers. Can we get the numbers down, and then he will be an Arsenal player? Of course, we're going to be diving into all the words from Fabrizio Romano, all the words from David Ornstein, especially the quotes that matter to Arsenal. They have said so many things that matter to other clubs as well, but I want us to dive into the quotes that matter to Arsenal. Can we get Joao Felix in the next 7 days? Hit the like button for me. Let's get this one to 500 likes. Subscribe to the podcast as well. We're very close to 62,000. By the end of January, we should be able to be at 70. So make sure you're hitting that subscribe and like button. Turn the notification bell on so that you don't miss a video as well. Now, let's start off with Fabrizio Romano because he's actually put it very, very clearly. And he said, Joao Felix this week, the deal is going to be happening. Atletico Madrid have already understood the player doesn't want to stay with them. He has already told them of his intention to leave. Man United, Arsenal are the leading contenders. However, clubs like Chelsea, PSG and Bayern are also believed to have secret interest as well. Now, he has also said that FC and Man United have already held talks with the agent, that's George Mendes. So I think the situation, it's not about thinking, it's about what's happening. That's what I want to talk about in this video. The situation on ground is that we have held talks with Joao Felix's agent, George Mendes. So have Manchester United. Now, Chelsea have come in as well. They do like him. Manchester City do like him. Bayern and PSG do like him as well. And those clubs could also influence what happens this week because the deal must be sealed this week, or according to what you know. Now, there are also a few reports from France that I really don't trust so much, and I don't want to include them in my report in this video, but they're also saying that the Joao Felix deal is in actually the dying significant hours. The deal is very, very close, and he will be leaving Atletico Madrid very, very soon. Now, they don't identify any club, so there is no club that has been identified to be signing him this week. And I think Arsenal are not the club that are only having the cards to sign him, but we are just front runners, and that's why I think this story actually matters to us more than it matters to any other club. So Fabrizio also says that Felix wants Arsenal. He doesn't have a problem with signing for them. He has been talking to Thomas Partey. He's been in constant contact with Thomas Partey, who has actually convinced him about Arsenal and Mikel Arteta. Now, this line has also been picked up by David Ornstein. I'm not really sure with it's David Ornstein who published the line first, or Fabrizio Romano. I would really give them credit for both of them because they're very, very strong journalists. Now, I think Partey is going to be a key factor, just like Zinchenko is a key factor in signing Mikhailo Mudryk. So I think with Thomas Partey, it's quite easy. He's been at Arsenal, he's been at Atletico Madrid, and he's struggled a little bit at Atletico Madrid. I don't think he was, he was at his best at Atletico, but at Arsenal, he's definitely going to hit the levels that he must be hitting because he's playing for a club that has really organized football. He's playing for a manager that is willing to have the ball. Is playing for a club that is willing to initiate matters in games. Right? And that's the difference between us and Atletico Madrid. Joao Felix is the same story. He wants to play coming from Benfica to Atletico Madrid, you want to play for a club that is quite similar to where you have actually been. Because for me, Benfica on Europe, I cannot say they're not one of the best clubs in in European football. I can't say that. For me, the football they play, maybe it has declined a little bit as compared to then when they had the likes of Angel Di Maria, and they were producing such kind of talent at a very, very rapid, consistent basis. But still, I feel like Benfica are a very, very quality side. And you look at their football, very, very interesting football, very, very entertaining football. And then Atletico Madrid is different. It's absolutely different. It's physical. It's all about parking the bus. It's all about running onto long balls. That is not what Joao Felix is all about. And again, it's not actually been utilized very well. At Portugal, and there's so many people who would actually think he would replace Ronaldo, but the problem is he has not been utilized in the right way. And maybe coming to Arsenal, maybe talking to Thomas Partey and asking him about all these questions. Do you think when I come at Arsenal, I'll get the game time? I will be able to play in those positions that I want to play in those pockets of space that I thrive in? And Partey tells him, look, this is the kind of football we have. This is what we've done so far. If you want to be part of this project, you're definitely going to thrive. So that is it from Fabrizio Romano on Thomas Partey and Joao Felix. He's spoken that the deal is happening this week. It is more likely that someone will get this deal done this week. Atletico Madrid are still very, very adamant. That's what we're going to talk about from David Onstein. They're still adamant about what they want as a package. They're talking about 21 million euros. It's ridiculous because they're talking about 6 million euros. We are talking here about 6 million euros in terms of the player's salary, and we're talking about in excess of 15 million euros in a loan fee. A loan fee, in my opinion, that actually doesn't need to even happen. We are trying to sign a player who's rejected you while still on contract, who's told you, I want to be out of this place. I don't think we have the best of relations. Why would we pay 15 million euros for a broken relationship? I don't think any club should actually do that unless you're crazy Chelsea. Now, according to David Onstein, he says first and foremost that Arsenal see this loan deal as the same as Martin Odegaard's deal when we signed him in January last year. So in 2022, of course. At times I do forget that we're already in 2023, so you've got to remind me always in the comment section. So I think the picture with what Arsenal want to do is quite clear. Because Atletico Madrid will be loaning him out without an obligation to buy, and I think that's quite very, very smart from them. They want to let him go for 15 million euros for 6 months. It doesn't hurt, does it? And they're not paying his wages, and then sell him in the summer for 90, 100 million euros. You know what that means? That means that they've given you a player, you've trained him, you've brought him back to life, and they will sell him to another powerhouse for 100 million euros. That's quite very, very smart from them. And I think Arsenal should be very, very skeptical about this deal. We should have at least the first option to buy. If all goes well, we should have the first option to buy. So David Onstein says Arsenal look at this as the Odegaard deal. Get him, test him, right? Work with him, understand him, fit him into the project. If he works out, if it definitely works out, then you definitely sign him. But if it doesn't work out, then there are more chances that we will actually let him go. Now, I got no problems with to be honest, I got no problems with such a deal, like what happened with Odegaard, because all of us didn't know that Odegaard would work out. All of us thought, yeah, why are they doing this deal? They could do so many other better deals. James Maddison was there maybe. And a couple of good number 10s, by the way, were there at the time. And we're talking about the likes of, Correa, who eventually ended up at Inter Milan. We're talking about a few other players, the likes of Piotr Zielinski as well. So you look at all these deals and you're like, maybe Mikel Arteta knows why he's trying to chase them. Maybe Mikel Arteta knows the intrinsic value in them, right? So they look at it as a deal they could do in the summer by signing him on a permanent, but after trying him on a loan deal. David Onstein says that the influential figures at Arsenal are in for Joao Felix. They see him as a player that will be able to replace Gabriel Jesus. They also see him as a player that has a very very, very big potential to fit into our project and work very, very smartly well. Now, I think this is a no-brainer. This is a really, really no-brainer. I said this at the beginning of December. If you want a world-class player, if you want a first for your project, if you want a player that people will associate, a name that people will associate with your project, Joao Felix for me is the guy. When you play against Atletico Madrid, probably there is Antoine Griezmann, the likes of Morata, Koke, the goalkeeper as well, and you know, I feel like Joao Felix, if he ever clicked, he would definitely overshadow each and every one in that squad. He would, definitely overshadow each and every player in that Atletico Madrid side. Now, him being 23, Martinelli being 21, and Saka being 21 as well, it means he's going to be the older guy. He's going to be the older player, the one with more experience, the one that the world will be looking out to for things to happen. If something's not going around or going on with Arsenal, they'll be looking at Joao Felix for in terms of inspiration and maybe creating something out of the blue. And that's one of the reasons as why I really, really like him. He's a player that can create something out of nothing. So what we are talking about here is that the popular vote at Arsenal is voting for Joao Felix to come at the club to replace Gabriel Jesus because they feel he fits into the project and is a player that would actually be a very, very nice fit. And also, David Onsen says the problem here is going to be the numbers, not only with Arsenal, but he says all clubs want to pay less than half of what they are demanding. Because George Mendes has been talking to a couple of clubs this week and is still continuing to talk to a couple of clubs this week to make sure that they understand the terms and conditions of this deal. There is a high possibility that by the end of the transfer window, by the end of January, someone will have signed Joao Felix at least less than 7 million euros a loan fee. Or by the end of this week, we might actually have signed him by less than 7 million euros, in terms of a loan fee, and then would be paying his wages. So all clubs, not only Arsenal, feel the fee is still very high, and all clubs still feel if we are gonna do the deal, then cut the loan fee either substantially high, or actually you could remove it. You could remove all of it. We take the player, we pay the wages, and then everything moves on. So in terms of what you need to know for now, that is what is happening. I'm going to do a comprehensive video about Mikhailo Modric and Joao Felix, 2 comprehensive videos about these players, where we stand with them, and everything you need to know. So what I pick out of these guys, and I think Arsenal are not close to getting this deal done, but we are still in pole position. We are very, very much in pole position. So that is the first thing I get, that we need to beat time. When we say it's a week, for me, deals don't take weeks. I mean, they take time. There are times when deals take time. There are times when you feel your club maybe is dragging the deal a little bit. But I feel any club that understands this deal could actually do it as quickly as they can. Yeah. Any club that understands the real importance and value of Joao Felix could actually do this deal as quickly as they can. So timing is going to be a very, very key factor. Can Arsenal step up their negotiations within the next 7 days? Can we step up our negotiations? Can we tell Atletico Madrid? Can we convince them otherwise about the money? Right? If we can do that, I'm highly likely to believe that this could be an easier deal than the Mikhailo Modric deal. Okay, that is number one. And then I think the other thing we'll have to talk about is the competition between us and Manchester United. It has been highlighted a lot of the time by a couple of outlets, including The Athletic, that it is Arsenal and Manchester United. Yes, other clubs are there. They're waiting in the shadows. They're there in the question, but it is Arsenal and Manchester United. George Mendes is convinced that one of these big powerhouses will actually take Joao Felix. So we need to look out for Manchester United. They're always on our shoulder there. And because they lost Ronaldo, because they have Rashford, who should be playing on the left, because they have Jadon Sancho, who is not actually working out well, and Anthony Elanga, who needs a loan deal rather than starting for Man United day in, day out. They might actually take this Joao Felix deal a little bit more serious. Yes, maybe they need some kind of in number 9, but with Erik Ten Hag, you never know. With Ten Hag, anything can happen. Anything, absolutely anything can happen. He can get a number 10 and use him as a number 9, and the guy scores millions and millions of goals. We've seen it with Dusan Tadic. We've seen it with Sebastian Heller. Two different players, two different strikers, two different forwards, giving you the same result in the same position. And that is Erik Ten Hag, and that is what he's all about. So for me, I'm gonna say this. Let's wait and see how things roll out in a week. My video on Arsenal signing Joao Felix, everything you need to know, is coming out very, very soon. Everything you need to know about Mykhailo Mudryk is also coming out very, very soon. We'll talk about Danilo, we'll talk about Tielemans, we'll talk about the 3 contracts that Arsenal have triggered, including Charlie Patino, including Bukayo Saka, and William Saliba. So much content coming your way this January as we try to build the program, as we try to build the channel. Make sure you're always tuned in. Hit the like button, subscribe, and I'll speak to you right in the next one. Follow me on Instagram, Cossy's Arsenal Podcast. You can follow me on my socials, Cossy Arsenal on Twitter. You can follow me on TikTok as well, Cossy's Arsenal Podcast. I'm introducing shows this year. I hope you guys will love the content. Bye-bye.